It is time for another bookish tag video. I like doing these because I feel like it's basically a self-interview. I ask myself questions, I give you answers. And sometimes I surprise myself because I just kind of go into this like in free fall. I read it and then I blurb out whatever comes out of my mouth. That's the answer. All right, so this is called the I Dare You book tag. I saw this over on the BookBuds channel and I thought this would be a fun one to do. So the first question is, what book has been on your shelf the longest? I guess the book that's been on my shelf the longest, it would be like books. Since I've been a kid, I have been kind of rereading the Narnia Chronicles every so often, and I've always had Narnia somewhere where I've lived since I've been a kid. So I would say the Narnia Chronicles has been around the longest. It may not be the same exact books I read when I was a kid, because now I just have them all in one. But that one's definitely the one that's been around the longest. All right, question number 2. What is your current read, last read, and the book you'll read next? Okay, so my current read is Disillusion by Nicholas Benge, which is super weird, and I'm loving it so far. It's like a weird sci-fi, time travel, just out there book. It's great. And then my last read before that was, I finally got back into the Witcher series, The Time of Contempt, which is book 2 in the Witcher series. And the next book I'm going to read is The Red Knot by Monique Asher. This book comes out in August. It takes place on like an isolated island. There is a religious cult and missing girls, and it sounded like a pretty interesting read. So looking forward to that one. All right, next question is, what book did everyone like but you hated? I honestly can't think of one that pops into my brain at all right now. It'll come later, like later tonight, 6 hours from now, I'll be like, oh, that was the book. But I can't honestly think of one at this point in time, so we're just going to keep going. What book do you keep telling yourself you'll read, but you probably won't? Oh, God, A Confederacy of Dunces. Keep telling myself I'm going to read that one of these days, but I highly doubt that I will. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe we will. See, there I am, telling myself that maybe we're going to read it. We'll see. What book are you saving for retirement? None. I'm not saving anything for retirement. Why? Why? I am a mood reader, so whatever strikes me, I have no rhyme or reason or order to my reading usually. Like, it goes week to week, you know? I kind of fly by the seat of my pants. There's no book I'm like, I will save this for my retirement. There just really isn't. I don't even know what tomorrow's gonna bring, so I'm gonna read whatever I really want to read, and that's how it's gonna go. I don't know. Okay, next one is last page, read it first or wait till the end. You heathens. But okay, it's fine if you do that. We all do different things, right? I will not read the last page before like reading the full story. I don't want those spoilers. Now what's funny is like if you give me spoilers for like a book or a show, honestly, I don't really care. Like I don't watch shows when they come out. I watch them years later. Like I don't know. And then with books, I probably won't remember. But I'm not going to spoiler myself by reading the last page because I will remember if I do that. That's just, yeah, I'm not going to do that. No. And if you do, that's fine because that is your choice. Next one, Acknowledgement, waste of paper and ink or interesting aside. I think it's an interesting aside. You want to thank the people that helped you put together this book. Like writing a book is a huge accomplishment. It takes a lot of time and dedication and like people that support you to do it. I think it's great that the acknowledgements exist, like, and sometimes some of them have some really like fun behind the scenes things that you learn about the author. So I think they are not a waste at all. I think they're a good thing to have in a book. Which book character would you switch places with? Well, I read a lot of horror, so no one. No one that I can think of. Yeah, I read fantasy too, but a lot of that fantasy is dark. So no. Do you have a book that reminds you of something specific in your life, place, time, and person? I have one book that reminds me of my friend Colin. It's called Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. He had recommended that to me years ago, and I still have that book. It's a great book that just reminds me of him because he had recommended it to me. Name a book that you acquired in an interesting way. What would be an interesting way? Like the way I acquire books is I buy them. I get them from the library. Sometimes people give books to my partner and he gives them to me. Other people will sometimes be like, I have a book for you. There's no interesting way. Either a book has been given to me by a hand or I go and get them at the store or the library. There's no interestingness in that. I mean, I find stuff at the little free libraries Nothing interesting. Like, I didn't find any books in a garbage can. I wasn't out in the woods and I found a book sitting on a log. Like, I wish I found like some magical manuscript just out in the forest with strange symbols and whatnot. Yeah, but nothing interesting. If it ever happens, y'all will be the first to know. I'll talk about it. Have you ever given a book away for a special reason to a special person? I mean, probably. I've let people borrow books, but I can't think of like nothing like crazy. It's just regular, hey, I think you might like this book. I don't know. All right, this next one is, which book has been with you most places? None. I don't have any book that I take with me most places. I take notepads with me. Sometimes I jot down notes of things I want to remember, or I might write a poem. But there's no book that like I've had with me the most, unless you count having the Narnia books traveling around with me since I've been a kid, but it's just on my bookshelf. It's not like I'm taking it in the car or to the doctor's or on vacation with me, like carrying it around like it's like my security blanket. Because that's kind of what I'm thinking of. Like, it's almost like that question is like, is it a talisman? Is it something I'm carrying with me when I go places? That's what I'm reading into it. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe it's like, yeah, what has been on your shelf the most or traveled with you? I guess Narnia, because I've had it from a kid till now in adulthood. So, any required reading you hated in high school that wasn't so bad 2 years later? High school. I can't remember any required reading in high school. I remember like books we read in middle school. Like we read Island of the Blue Dolphin, Hatchet, The Hobbit. We read a book about Dave Dravecky. He was a baseball player. All Creatures Great and Small. I don't remember any that I like hated. I thought most of the things I read were decent. I think we also read Where the Red Fern Grows. Why would you do that to young kids? But anyways, maybe that. And I wouldn't even want to read that again as an adult. It's so sad. I don't like books where animals die. I literally don't remember any specific required reading in high school. It's weird that I remember all the middle school ones, though. That's freaking weird. Anyway, I was doing other things in high school, I guess. All right, next question is, used or brand new? I love the used bookstore. I love the thrift store. I also like new books. Both. Next one is, have you ever read a Dan Brown book? I have not. No. Have you ever seen a movie you like better than the book? I don't think so, but I do think that the first 3 Lord of the Rings movies were amazing. There are very few movies that I think do the books justice, and those were definitely ones that did them justice. Have you ever read a book that's made you hungry? Cookbooks included. Heck yes, I have. Anytime I look at a cookbook, it makes me hungry. Also, there's a couple books in particular, like Legends and Lattes, the descriptions of like the food and the smells in it definitely made me hungry and want cinnamon rolls. And then there's another book called If You Can't Take the Heat, which is a nonfiction book about like working in the restaurant industry and stuff and such in that vein. And there's a lot of food descriptions in there that are just mouth-watering and make me want to eat food, lots and lots of food. So, oh yeah. Okay, next one is, who is the person whose book advice you'll always take? And there's one person that I feel like hasn't ever really steered me wrong on books and has given me books that I've always liked, and that is my friend John Tenney. He's a paranormal investigator, so from time to time I'll ask him for book recommendations, and everything I've read has been highly interesting, and the books he's given me I've really liked, so I will always take his book advice. I trust his judgment. Okay, next is there a book out of your comfort zone, out of your usual reading genre that you ended up loving? I mean, I've kind of got into like the cozy murder mysteries that are also kind of romancy. I can't think of a specific one. They all kind of blend together, like the apple cider slaying or the pumpkin pageant mysteries. Those were something I don't know that I would have read prior. Like, I've never been a big romance reader, but I've been dipping my toe into like a little bit of romancy things here and there. And so I don't know that I loved any of those, but I enjoyed them. I can't think of one specific book that was like out of my normal zone of reading that I was like, dang, that's so good. Okay, so if you enjoy this tag and think it's something you might like to do, consider yourself tagged. All the prompts will be down below in the description. And if you enjoyed hanging out today, Hit that subscribe button, come back, see me again, and we'll talk about more bookish things and weird stuff.